Welcome to another morning stream, morning thoughts, morning everything. Some people will never be able to exist in your life, no matter no matter how much you want them to, or no matter how much you feel like they can provide something for you or something. It takes a willing participant to be in your life, and I think this sort of need for communication, need for expression that exists in all of us. It drives us to do crazy things and to almost lie to ourselves in order to fit in and be seen and be heard. I finished my first I finished my first book. First notebook, I should say. This is my second one I'm cracking open. um, it felt really weird to just finish something like that after a year or so. I'm not. I'm not sure if I could put into words the meaning it has for me, and I don't know if I could convey to you, the viewer, the participant, anyone of you. I don't think I could convey my meaning in its totality with what I write about, and why I write, and why I practice many arts. I paint, I draw, I sing, I play guitar, and I study a lot of randomness. But oh, finishing that first notebook, getting all the pages filled with my writing, it really, I don't know, struck something in me. A show I'm watching, or I've been watching, has a saying in it that kind of brought me to this feeling. And then I've had a couple revelations during this sort of process of kind of figuring out why it matters so much to me, and why I mentioned in the beginning why some people just can't exist around you, and you're gonna have to eventually accept that. I wrote every second counts. It's weird because what does that mean? What does that mean for you? What does that mean for me? What counts in the name of everything? What counts for what counts for your goals? What counts for your sanity? And I have a tough time always wrapping my head around it. And I'm not going to get in the nitty gritty details of why I struggle with remembering my power and remembering that every second fucking counts. But it does. And I think this loss of motivation, this loss of power towards the moment, the present moment, has really caused us to just, how do I say it? It's caused us to be isolated in our own imprisonments. Whether or not that is a physical or mental imprisonment. I think if you don't have integrity for what you're doing, you don't have any conscious thought behind it other than survival. You're going to try to really hold on to this identity that dictates, that drives you. And if that identity is fucked with at all, it sparks something in the in the person that just drives them fucking mad. Picks at their deepest wounds when you say a few words. And I guess another reason why I think every second counts is because we count every second as some sort of end all be all. You know, that very second that you are conscious and you're counting, you're counting because you want to go somewhere else. You're focused on getting to Friday than you are right here, right now. And this sort of notion of constantly going somewhere, constantly being counted, constantly being seen, this creates our imprisonments. And these imprisonments are reinforced by weird, weird cultural values. I mean, this app or website is one of them. All social media is a big part of this game, big part of this imprisonment, where your attention and the attention you get or receive is the gates of your imprisonment. You set standards for the amount of views you want to get. You have to cater towards the algorithm. You have to cater towards this larger collective of people who, I mean, who don't even know you, who have no business caring about you. It's kind of sad. And it creates a lot of alienation. I think that ends up being my biggest problem is I feel like every time I really try to talk to anyone, obviously there's There's people there out there in the world where you can talk and truly feel heard or get somewhere, talk about something useful. But I feel like most of the people that are surrounding me these days are just, they care about very different things than I care about. And this comes with, this sort of baggage of, do I want to fit in? Do I want to just be heard or express, be seen in a group? Or just the way I see the world truly have not a greater aspect to it, but a different aspect to it, and just conforming to the first group I find or the people around me. I mean, I just can't always. I find a lot of people older than me are more childish than me, and the people younger than me are focused on partying or something. See if I can't read anything from here. I wrote, anger, hatred, and fear rules order, but love, joy, and gratitude rules disorder. Love, joy, and gratitude. I think I could probably find other words, and there's other words that you could describe order and disorder for sure. But I think order requires a sense, it requires more of it, it requires a part of you to disappear. But disorder, I find that a part of you gets let out to the pasture, and the world stops looking like a concept or language, and it starts to feel like an abstract work of art. And it's hard for me to even get to that point in a day to day existence because I have to constantly remind myself. Because I'm sorry, if you look out across your cultural environment, your cities, your towns, the people in these towns and cities that fill it, you will see a very, it's hard not to generalize. It really is. But you will see people who are so caught up in the nonsense, in the or not the disorder, but in the order, the fear, talking about what they fear and how the government fears this, the nukes and bombs and countries, and the hatred that you have for your least favorite character on your reality TV show, and the anger it causes you to not be able to get your order within 5 minutes, or your package was delayed for a day. I got every time I'm surrounded by these people, I get in this like response of like, yeah, that's cool. And what I find is I can play the game. I can entertain it. I really, it's not hard. It's very easy. And that's what you're going to realize. If you have any sort of intelligence on top of your head, you're going to realize how you can use that intelligence or that awareness, whatever you want to call it, to your own will. And you can really, you can use it in very bad ways. You can use it in very good ways. Mm, I wrote this. Sorry. I wrote a couple things I'll read. Listening to words rather than reading words, giving our ears away to automation. And then I wrote, access points control our expression. Expression should control our access points. And then I wrote something on end here. It's like writing was the only way I could make sense of the absurdity of this culture. We are deep within the dungeons of mechanical processes. Actions becoming computerized, intelligence captured in energy and quantity. What is left for the human amongst it? Yeah, I ask myself this question. I go, where do we go to build a new way of living in this world? This is interesting. I said I was going to be done, but I go, we chase the high, we don't use it intentionally. I, I think it's a big thing for the life I want to begin to live after this is I want to use things. I want to use them as tools to help benefit me. I think I've been using things and substances as a sort of, I guess, as a sort of a scapegoat to not confront all these things that I want to do or want to talk about. So I think it's very easy to think about things. It's almost too easy to think about things. And courage, that call to courage, that hero's journey, that fool begins at every one of those things. The fool is at the beginning of the call of courage, like the call to courage. The fool is the beginning of the hero's journey. And remaining, and just remaining, It's silent and angry, does nothing, not expressing ourselves, not expressing our opinions, dumbing ourselves down for contentment and convenience out of fear of being misunderstood. And this all holds us in the place, these emotions, all these emotions and these feelings that are directed kind of towards us and kind of brings us to a speed of constantly like sifting through these emotions and having them come up every 10 minutes or so. What's holding these things together are the screens. The fear of being seen or the fear of being watched or just always having the ability to be looked at or to be seen or to be judged or to be viewed or to have some sort of gain. I think this is a much bigger problem, and we're so far into it that I genuinely feel like people and systems are going to die abruptly. And you better get in line or really stand in your fucking power because time waits for fucking no one. If you have to be isolated, practice something, get better, do it. The only wasted energy is the energy that isn't used. The only wasted paint is the paint left in the tube. I'm tired of talking to people who don't talk back. Where are you all? If you're all drunk, fuck off. I hate drunk people. I really do. I think alcohol sucks. I think alcohol sucks dick. It's a new day. And today will be tomorrow. Today is tomorrow. Tomorrow is today. What are you willing to sacrifice for your long term situation? Act or be acted upon. Paint your picture, sing your song, walk your path. Walk your path.